Hey today YouTube, this is Dwayne here. So I figured I haven't done a little video in a little while and figured I'd come on here and share what came in the mail a little while ago. I finally got around to purchasing a legitimate, it's copyright free, so I guess that doesn't matter, legitimate copy of the New Testament in the original Greek Byzantine Textform. That's the one edited by Maurice Robinson and the late William Peirpont. Anyway, I have the book right here. As you can see, I find it's a very nice looking volume. On the outside, it comes with a little dust jacket. I generally find them annoying, so I take them off the book and put them aside. But as you can see, the book is solid. It's crafted very well. In my opinion, it looks like it's got a sewn binding. I don't think you can maybe see that or not. With a little tag here, so you can find a little bookmarker. Really nice. The things that set this book apart from some of the other alternate New Testaments is if you take a look, let me see if I find a decent page, or Revelation is probably better. You're going to see a number of things on the page. You have the main body, the main text, right on the main part of the page. Then in the right side, or sorry, it'd be left side to you, you'll see the little marginal notes there in Greek. And then at the very bottom, you have some more notes there, or an apparatus. Now the apparatus on the bottom actually shows you the differences that are between this Byzantine text and the Nestle Aland 27 text. And then in the margins on the right, on the left side to you, are actually variants within the Byzantine text form. So when they put them together and they were very close as far as weight and number and things like that, then one of the readings were selected as part of the main text, and then the alternate reading, which is very close, was put in the margin. So you have variants within the Byzantine text itself, and then you have the variants with the Nestle Aland, which is nice because generally speaking, or textually speaking, the Nestle Aland text and the Byzantine text are essentially the two ends of the spectrum, so you really get a feel for the kinds of variants that are attached to the New Testament, and you begin to see that any sort of claims of mistreatment of the text or the faulty unreliability of the text, well, you can plainly see because of these variants that it's just not the case. So a couple other things that are included in this volume are at the beginning. It's kind of a little preface that gives you a brief explanation as to how they put the work together and what some of their guiding principles were. And then at the end of the volume, about 50 or 60 page essay that Maurice Robinson had written essentially in defense of the Byzantine text form. It just basically lays out an argument that the current eclectic practices are just not, in his opinion, good enough to bring us back to the original, whereas the Byzantine text tends to fill the gap a little better. He's got some very persuasive arguments, and I suggest giving it a read through. So anyway, from what I understand, you can buy this for something like 17 bucks. It's very cheap. Again, it's very well built. The font, as you can see, is very nice. There's very little, if any, bleed through. So if that's an issue for you, you don't have to worry about it. Now, again, $17, great value. If you're an American, you're good to go. However, I'm up here in Canada, so I had to pay the extra shipping to bring it over the border. But it was still relatively well priced. Now, I just want to read just the copyright policy. This is what he wrote down. This is very enlightening, actually. It says, anyone is permitted to copy and distribute this text or any portion of this text. It may be incorporated in a larger work and or quoted from, stored in a database retrieval system, photocopied, reprinted, or otherwise duplicated by anyone without prior notification, permission, compensation to the holder, or any other restrictions. All rights to the text are released to everyone, and no one can reduce the rights at any time. Copyright is not claimed nor asserted for the new and revised form of the Greek New Testament text of this edition, nor for the original form of such as initially released into the public domain by the editors, first as printed textual notes in 1979 and in continuous text electronic form in 1986. Likewise, we hereby release into the public domain the introduction and appendix which have been especially prepared for this edition. So there you have it. I mean, that really gives you the heart of the people who put this together. I don't think that copyright should be a deciding factor in which text you use, but it does show you that the people who put this together seen it as a labor of love out of respect for God, and saw no reason to benefit monetarily from it. Freely they've been given, and freely they've received, and so freely they give. I'm assuming that's sort of their mentality here, and that is good to know. So, with that being said, I think I want to talk a little bit just about the drawbacks of it. One, it's essentially a straight text. There's no real helps in there. You're not going to find any dictionaries, definitions. You're not going to find any running dictionaries like a reader's edition. There is a reader's edition available with the Byzantine text, but that's another story, another video. The other thing too is Old Testament quotations are not marked out in any way. They're not bolded or italicized or underlined or anything like that. And there are no references to where the Old Testament quotes are quoting to, like Mark 1:2 to Isaiah 40 verse 3 or Malachi 1 verse 3, 3 verse 1. So nothing like that. So all you have is a straight unmarked text with no helps or anything. Other than that, right, one more is the order of the books. I think goes back to a 4th century ordering. So you got the Gospels first, and then what is it here? John, Acts. And then you go right into the general epistles. After you go into the general epistles, then you get into the Pauline epistles, right to the end where the apocalypse is, the Revelation. So that tends to throw me off a little bit. Like if you're looking for 1 John near the end of the book, you actually find out it's not. It's kind of halfway through. But again, these are, in my opinion, small price to pay for a marvelous work here. So my recommendation, do buy it. It's a very handy resource, and you'll find it's very good. Buy it. Alright guys, that's enough said about that. I will see you in another video. Eroso.